Right. Well,
Hello, everyone. We're just waiting on Jeremy to get on. It looks like webinar did a little bit of freezing on him just right now, so he'll be back on, and we'll get this show on the road for you.
yep, I am
Oh,
back.
there he is.
Yep,
Whoa,
that's it.
amazing.
That's it. Heard you talking about me. Had to get on.
Yep. Oh, man, seriously, you always do that.
All right, so let me share my screen here. Sorry about that, guys. Am I the presenter? Can you make me the presenter real quick, man? Or I guess I can do it. All right. Hello, everyone. As you can see, we like to roll by the seat of our pants sometimes, you know. But you are at the How to Build a High Converting Survey Funnel with bucket.io. What we're going to be doing today is walking you through setting up a survey funnel using the segmentation funnel tool inside of bucket.io. I was going to set one up to just kind of show you the after effects of building one, but I think what I'm going to do instead is actually build it on the screen here so you can watch me do it. We're going to go and set up a new segmentation funnel. And I'm just going to kind of show you some of the features inside of Bucket that will help you improve your conversions, and I'll show you kind of some things that you'll want to look at once you have your funnel up and running, so that you can optimize it and make it convert even better. So let's jump right into it. We'll do a short Q&A at the end of the call. I'm going to walk you through the setup here. It should take anywhere between 20 to 30 minutes to get everything set up and walk you through the steps for building your own survey funnel using our segmentation funnel tool. So let's get right into this. By the time we're done with this call, you will know how to build a high converting survey funnel, and like I said before, you'll know how to analyze the reporting so that you can make your funnel work even better. So let's jump right into it. When you're building out we're just going to call it a segmentation funnel from here on out because that's the tool we're going to be using. When you're building a segmentation funnel, there's four major steps. There's the build, there's the design, and then you configure and publish. We're going to focus most of our efforts today on the build aspect, just because I want to show you all the options that are available to you to improve conversions. And when you're setting up the segmentation funnel, you get 5 major options. Today we're going to focus on the full page, which means the entire funnel is captured inside of the bucket.io app. Um, you have the option of either using a button or an entry or splash page or even an exit pop-up. But just again, just to show you the full features, we're going to walk through a full pager today. So when you go into the build, and again, this is where we spend most of our time today, there are 4 components. There's the welcome page, and this is what you'll be using as your landing page. So if you're driving cold traffic, email traffic, wherever you're driving traffic, you will typically send them to the welcome page, and that's where you're going to pre-frame your survey funnel. The questions, that's what makes up your survey, right? That's where you'll do most of your heavy lifting. Then you'll have an email capture page, which acts like a typical opt-in page. And then you have your outcome pages, where you can send people based on the answers that they gave you inside the survey. So getting started, jumping right into it, we're going to go and we're going to look at the welcome pages, and then we're going to build one out real quick. So the welcome page, like I said before, is the first page someone will see when they visit your segmentation funnel. And I'm going to walk you through, and you'll see that you can customize pretty much every major aspect of it. It's just like building any other major landing page inside of bucket.io. If you've been inside the app already, you know you've got access to the headline, subhead. You can add image or video, body text, call to action stuff, and we can even play with some sliders later on. But today, we're just going to pop in a headline, a subhead, a video, and some basic pre-frame messaging to set up for the survey. So I'm going to jump over here into Bucket. I've already built it, so we're going to go in and edit. I've already started it. I mean, I haven't actually built it out yet. So we're going to hit edit, and this is going to take us to the build screen. So if you've been in here before, this should look familiar. We're going to create a welcome page, and the way you do that is just grab the welcome page box, drag it over to the welcome page area, and I'm going to go ahead and just start pasting in this information that we already have created over on a spreadsheet here. And if you don't already do this, I highly recommend it. Like kind of writing your copy before you jump into Bucket. It's kind of, so you already have the plan in place, and so all you've really got to do in here is literally just copy and paste. We're going to use a video, and if you've ever been on one of these calls before, you know you can use a video from anywhere that offers video embed code. So as you can see here, we're using Facebook video. You can use YouTube, Vimeo, literally anywhere that offers embed code. You just can paste that straight into this box, and it'll populate over here. And this guy may look familiar. I know a lot of you guys are familiar with Mr. Ryan Levesque, and this is his Ask Book funnel that we're going to be demoing here. All right, I'm going to I'm just basically putting in this copy so we can take a look at it here shortly. But the big thing here, and the reason I wanted to build it in front of you, is just so you can see, like I said, it's just a strategy of pre-writing everything so that when it comes time to actually building it out, all you're doing is pasting the stuff in, and it moves so much faster if you do it that way. All right, so we've got the landing page built here. This is the welcome page. I'm going to hit save. And just to give you a quick preview, I'm going to give you a preview as we go through here. You can see that the page is super simple, super clean, and I know a lot of people want to make their pages look a bunch of different ways, but what we found is this is a very high converting format. It's the headline, just basically give the person exactly what they're looking for as quickly as possible, and it works like gangbusters. So let's jump back into the builder real quick, and I can show you where we will be heading next. I'll close that part. So the next part we're going to get into is the actual questions. The segmentation questions pretty much form the basis of your funnel. This is where you're going to help your prospects. You're going to diagnose which bucket or segmentation that they will fall into by letting them self-select. You can customize the opt-in and the outcome for better conversions based on the choices that the user makes while they're going through your funnel. You can ask all different types of questions. You can, do a segmentation question / bucket question. You can ask them questions about product to help you make a decision later on, or determine which product they should go to. You can use called a grease the wheels type question, where if you've got some maybe heavier questions on the beginning, maybe ask a super simple one on the front just to kind of get the gears turning. And then you can ask demographic questions. If you want to determine the demographics of who's coming through your funnel. There are 4 element types that you can use. We've got short text, long text, radio button, and checkbox. The radio button is the one we're going to focus on today, because the radio button is the either-or option that they will choose from that will determine your customization path. And it's the customization of the experience that will lift those conversion rates. And so that's what we're going to be looking into today. So let's jump into it. We're going to, first of all, we're going to create a radio button. The simple way to do this is you just grab the type of question that you want to ask, just drag it over here. And I've already got the question set up here. So I'm going to grab this. I'm going to paste that in. Got the question description. And I'm going to give you just a real quick primer on this tag. You'll see the option here to add Zapier tag. I'm not going to go deep into the Zapier stuff today, because again, that's outside of how to actually build the high converting funnel, but it is important because what the Zapier tag will do is tell your Zapier integration what answer your prospect gave as they were going through the survey funnel. So when someone answers their roadblock question here, bucket.io will tell Zapier what they chose, and then Zapier will send that to your email provider, so you can use that to segment your list so that your message stays on point. So the customization goes beyond just bucket. It'll go into your email messaging if you choose to do it that way. Again, which also lifts conversions, and if you don't make the conversion on the initial visit, then you're able to follow up with that same segmentation path and the same messaging. So this is where you'll do that. So you add the Zapier tag here, then later on when you're doing your integration, you just tell Zapier to send this off to your email provider, and based on whatever the person chooses, that information will be sent to your email provider. And we're going to add these things in real quick, these options. So the first one is hitting my goals and deadlines. The next one is knowing what's really working today. And here's another thing too, and I can't stress this enough. Knowing what these options are and making sure that the closer these options are to actually nailing down what someone's problems actually are, I mean that's the heavy lifting, right? Like that's 90% of the or probably 80, let's say at least 80% of the effort goes into knowing what the options are going to be, so that later when you're customizing that experience, you really are reading their mind. The app itself, the bucket.io app, just gives you the power to actually take action on what you know. But it definitely does come down to getting these questions right. And I'll show you later on how to figure out maybe if your question isn't quite hitting the mark, and how to adjust. That's going to be something that we'll look at once we get this thing built up. But I did want to just put it out there that this part here that's already pre-written, I know you see me kind of breezing through it, but it obviously is the most important part of it all, right? Making sure your messaging is on point. But using the app itself to actually get your prospects to move through and convert and become your either subscribers or your customers, and so on. All right, so we've got these options here. So for step one, we have 4 different options. And I'm going to save this down. And for right this minute, I'm just going to stop at this question. I will add one later on to show you a couple of other options inside of Bucket. But for now, we have our question. That's how you set up a question. And if you wanted to add another question that was similar, that has similar question or similar number of answers, you could just come over here and clone it, or you can create a variation of it. And when you create a variation, I don't think that actually. When you create a variation here, let me see. Oh, you can't. Okay. You're right. You can't create the variation on the first position. I'll do that in a second once we set up the next. Once we come back to this. So anyways, that's how you set up your segmentation question. It is a radio button that that lets them choose just one of the options. All right. All right, then the next step, we're just going to go ahead and set up the lead capture page itself, because once they answer the questions, you're just going to want to capture just a regular lead capture page, right? You're going to take their email address, their name, or whatever information you usually collect so that you can follow up with them. And then you'll also be able to customize the lead capture page based on the answers given. And I'm going to show you exactly how to do that. But again, just like the other landing page, you customize the lead capture page the exact same way as you would the welcome screen that we walked through earlier. And we're going to jump in there now. I'm going to build the first one out here, and then I'm going to show you how to create different customized variations of that. So let's jump over here. Again, the way you add a lead capture page is you just drag the lead capture box over to here, and then we've already got the lead capture page already built in. So we're going to just going to add this in real quick. I'm going to show you what all these options up here mean in a second. All right, I'm going to add in the sub headline. And I believe this is a I'm going to just take off the body text. I don't think we're going to be using that here. We're going to leave on I think for now, I'm just going to do email address. And finally, let's do the button text. All right. So again, this one is going to be, this is right at this point, just for this build right here, we're just going to make a super simple lead capture page. But I'm going to show you, after we have this built, I'm going to show you how we go through and make this even better for creating higher conversions. So I'm going to save this down. And real quick, we're going to go back in. Now, the final step here to just getting the basic funnel up and running is we're going to create an outcome page. All right? And the way that we do that is, so if you aren't familiar with the outcome pages themselves, they are derived from the buckets. So we can have an outcome page for every option in the questions. So every choice that someone has, you can create an outcome page for that choice. But there are specific pages that you show someone based on what they chose, which gives you the option to either prescribe them a solution, and you can make that based on their specific situation. And what that does, obviously, is the more customized you can make the experience, the more you can make the prospect know that your product is exactly what they're looking for, the higher the conversion. And there's two types of outcomes. There's the outcome page that you have inside of Bucket, and then there's an external URL. And what I'll always ask somebody is I'll say, hey, do you already have sales pages for your products or service, whatever it is your offer is going to be? Do you already have those? If so, you'll want to use an external URL, right? And then just send them to the correct sales page or offer page. If you don't, then you can build those inside of the bucket.io app. And that's what we're going to do today is we're going to use the ones that are inside of the bucket.io app, just so you can see how exactly you build it. Again, if this looks familiar, it's because it is. It's exactly, you have the exact same control features that you do over the other welcome page and the opt-in page. So we're going to build this thing out real fast. I'm just going to drag over outcome to the drag and drop outcome spot. We're going to call this outcome name, we're going to base it off of our questions. So we'll call this one hitting goals. As you can see, I've typed that in there before. We're going to create it as an outcome page, and then we're going to create the outcome page. All right, and then we have the copy already over here. Just going to pop that in. I think there's a video on this one. Yep. And as you can see here, I don't know if you can see it on the screen, it might be kind of small, but on this video, you know, before I told you you could use any. So this is a Wistia. So earlier we used a Facebook, now we're using a Wistia. Again, you can, any embed video that you have, you can use it in bucket.io. All right, let's grab some body text. Let's grab this button. And then you'll notice here I'm grabbing a link. So what's going to happen here is that over here on the screen down here, you can see that you've got the call to action button here. This is where you can send them off to a cart, to a download, or anywhere. I mean, and it's based on the outcome page itself. So if you are setting up like a pre-frame for to sell something, you can send them straight off to the make the purchase right here on the bucket.io app. All right, let me see. So I'll just do that. Save this page. All right, and so now we've got what you can see here is all three of these things are green now. So we have built out the basis or the very basic of a single segmentation survey funnel, right? So you've got one question, and from there you can help them determine where they're going to go. As long as you have each of these elements, as long as you have the welcome page, the questions, the lead capture, and the outcome, all these things light up and you're good to go on to the next spot. But in today's call, I want to take you guys a little bit deeper here and show you some of the other options that are available in Bucket so that you can improve your conversions, right? So we're going to, first of all, we're going to take a look at the opt-in conversions. Like how do we improve the opt-in conversions? What options are available? So first off, if you're looking to improve the number of people that actually fill out a form and give you their email address, what you'll do is you'll see here on the lead capture, we can drag another lead capture page over, right? And on this page, so you see these options here, you see where it says set default map outcome. So what you'll do here is you can say for this, you can actually choose which outcome page the person goes to based on this lead capture page, all right? And what we'll do here, actually, I'm going to do a clone versus setting up another one. You always like to look like super awesome when you realize, oh wait, you can't clone. You actually do have to create it. So I thought you could hit clone, but you can't. So you just need to create another one, and we'll just use the similar copy from our earlier page. We're going to add a couple of different things to it, though, so you can see how adding another opt-in page actually improves the conversions. All right, so I'm just going to put in this headline here. And on the subhead, let's just say for the subhead, we're going to choose, we'll make this something closer to knowing what's really working today, right? So here, we'll type something to the effect of find out what's really working today. Again, as I told you before, if you have this stuff pre-set up, it makes this process a lot easier. So you're not sitting there trying to make it up on the fly. So if you know if you have a good landing page copy for your first choice, your second choice, you could just paste all that stuff in. So as you can see, what I did here is instead of just a standard message, we kind of customize it so that based on what they chose, now you're even continuing that customization route so that once they fill in once they get to this form based on their earlier choice, it's just more customized to to what they're looking for. And I'm going to just take out name phone about. I'm going to use the same same copy and the same. All right, then I'll save this page down. And what I'm going to do here is, since we do have, since that is the second page, I'm going to go over here and I'm going to create this. I'm going to do a clone the outcome. Just so I make sure. Anyway. Right. We'll change this to know what's really working today. It's going to be an outcome page. And then, which again, what we would do here, I'm literally making this up on the fly, so I don't have a copy. I don't have the copy for this second option. But as you can see, you would do something to the effect of, you know, get ready to learn what's really working now. I mean, obviously this isn't a very great copy, but what you would, the point I'm trying to make here is that now you are creating your outcome pages based on the answers that the person gave at the beginning of the survey. And so the entire experience is completely customized, and the prescriptions that you're giving them is tuned to exactly the problem that they told you that they have. And I'm going to save this page here. And then what we'll do is come back up, and if you haven't seen this before, this is what's called outcome mapping. And so what we'll do is we're going to map these outcomes to the actual pages. So as you can see here, we've got our hitting my goals and deadlines. We will map that to the hitting my goals and deadlines. And then knowing what's really working today, we will map that over here. I'm not going to create one for each of these two because you would do the exact same thing, right? You would go and create one for getting detailed feedback on my business and then feeling overwhelmed on what to do next. If you wanted to create those customizations for each of those steps so that you can improve the amount of people, again, just customizing the entire experience for the maximum conversions. And then I'm just going to save this down. All right, and then what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually come back over here to this lead capture because I think we just chose like the wrong one last time because we didn't have the outcome page built. So this one will be the find out what's really working today. This will be the this will go to the know what's really working today outcome page. All right, and then we'll go back into the first one. And this will be hitting my goals and deadlines page. All right, so now when the person fills out, basically if they fill out the outcome A, it goes to the outcome A outcome page. If they fill out outcome B, it'll go to the outcome B page. Now you could get rid of these and just have a single opt-in screen if you wanted to. Like this is just an option. So again, if you find that you're not getting as many if you want to just test it and see if you can increase your conversions on the opt-in page, then this is the first place that you would come in and test, right? Just add a different lead capture screen that matches the question that the person answers, and then taking them through to their outcome page from there. And that's it. So once you actually have this thing built From there, you would just rush over to, you could do some configuration, you could do some design stuff. I'm not going to go deep into all the design stuff here. You can add logos, you could change the fonts, the coloring, you can add background images to make it look better. You can, on the configuration side, again, like I said earlier, you could come in and do integration with your email provider using Zapier. This is where all that takes place. And if you have questions on how to do these, we've got some really good tutorials in the knowledge base on bucket.io. And of course, we will be doing more in-depth training on this stuff later. Also with integrating your Facebook pixel for each of your survey files. And then finally, what you'll do is you'll come out here, hit publish, and that's, again, just a very simple process, just choosing a URL that you want it to sit on, and then hitting the slider over to publish, and you are ready to go. We'll hit preview on this thing just so you can see it live. And we've got the yes. Here's where we'll choose our question. It'll take you, see, as you can see, that question took you straight to the question that we assigned to that, took you to the lead capture that we assigned to that question. We'll just do a quick fill it in. And then they're taken to the outcome page based on the choice that we assign to it. Click here, and it sends you straight out to the shopping cart or the checkout page for this product. And that's exactly how it works. Now, I told you before that we would go in and look at how do we tell what's working and what's not. So we're going to kind of jump back in here real quick. And we're going to take a look at our analytics. So as you can see here, I just want to show you how this like what to expect when you're on this page. So what you're seeing here, you've got the eyeball and then the check marks. The eyeball just shows you how many people saw the welcome page and how many people clicked through your call to action button. Keep an eye on that number, because if that number starts getting high and this one starts getting low, then it's an adjustment that needs to be made on your welcome page, right? Because you need more eyeballs, more check marks. You need that number to be as high as possible. Basically what you're looking for is improving your click-through rate on your call to action button. Then in your conversion statistics, what we're looking at here is the number of people that see the question, answer the question. And what will happen is the more questions you have here, you'll see that number, if the number stays the same all the way through, it should be a high number. You know, we're talking, it should be anywhere, you know, between 70 to almost, you know, close to 100%. If that number starts to drop in any of the questions, here, let me jump back, and just so we have it here, I'm going to just do one more edit. I'm going to add another question here, just so we have it, so when we're looking at it. Oops. All right. Oh. I'm just creating this just so you can see what it looks like inside the analytics screen. So I'm going to jump back over here. I'm going to take a look at this. All right. Oh, wait, did I click edit again? Again, it's analytics is what you're looking for, not edit. So you jump back into the analytics, and you've got your welcome page, again, with the eyeballs and the check marks. Now, as you can see, you're going to have the eyeballs and the percentage. You're basically going to have the stats for each question. Now, if you see where let's say we had another question here. If you start seeing these numbers start dropping off, you're going to want to do one of two things: either get rid of the question altogether and see if again, what you're looking for is more people getting to this lead capture page, right? So if you see a big drop off at one of your questions, then you either you need to drop the question completely, or just figure out another way to ask it so that it makes sense for them to keep pushing through to your opt-in page. And then again, on your lead capture stats, this is where you're going to be making your opt-in conversion decisions. So if you see X number of eyeballs here and a low number, well, then it's time to go and adjust your lead capture page. Or, like we did in this case, add another lead capture page and then attach that to a question so that you're, again, customizing that entire experience so they know that when they give their email address, they're getting a solution to the problem they just told you they had, right? And so that's one way to improve the conversions, is just to add another landing page and attach it to the question, or just adjust the copy. That's if you're just going to have one lead capture page, just adjust the copy for that. And then the same thing on the outcome stats. You're going to see how many people click out of it once they go in, and the number of people that actually see the page. And so, again, these are the important stats for making sure that this thing always gets better. So as you set your funnel up, your goal is obviously to keep it converting at a high rate. And the way that you'll do that is just by paying attention to the numbers that are in here and then adjusting and adding more customization as needed to improve those conversions. And that's it. That's how you set up a high converting survey funnel inside of bucket.io. I know we actually ended up running a little longer than I expected to get through this, but I definitely want to open this thing up to some Q&A. So, Mr. Nickel, if we have questions that have come up as we've gone through, I'm happy to go through and walk through those questions.
There are actually no questions right now, so if anybody has any they'd like to put out there, then feel free to do so.
Yeah, it's a very simple process to get these funnels built up, and so if I went through it a little quickly, I'm happy to go back into the funnel, into any spot that I may have sped through, and take another look at setting that up.
Okay, we do have one from Lisa Gordon here. Please show branching is what the request is.
Okay, so yeah, so that will be our variations. So the way that works is you'll come over here and you'll create a variation. As we learned earlier, you can't do that on the question one, right? I mean, because there's no question before it. So in this case, if that's how you set it up basically. So if someone shows A, then back out, click the wrong one. Then what we'll do here is we'll just change the question name based on the choice, and you can name that whatever you want to name it. So in this case, let's say based on your question, we'll just do Q1-A. And then you can have your options here. Let's save. And then the same thing. As you can see, it has it broken up. Wait, wrong one. As you can see, it has it broken up into the two different options here. And that's how it works. It's real simple. All you've got to do is when you add the when you add the question in, you just create the variation of it. So we'll do Q3. Oops. And I don't know why I keep getting pushed down there. The same thing here. Again, all you got to do if you're going to be doing adding the variations is just adding them on by clicking the then you add the branching logic here. And so if the answer is A, you could either jump to the end of the funnel or you jump to the next variation of the next question. So we would just, let's just say do here, and then here we would just jump to the end of the funnel. And that's it. And the same thing here. If you wanted to do something similar, you would just add it in the branching logic. Does that make sense? Hopefully that helps you out. I don't know if that did I show you what you were looking for, or was there something else that you needed to see on the branching logic? Does it make sense? I'm gonna go with the yeah. All right. Well, that's the how we build the high converting segmentation funnels. We'll have another one of these this afternoon, and then if you guys have any ideas on what you need to see, like I said, we're going to be doing Zapier, we're going to be doing Facebook pixel integrations, but if there's anything else in particular that you want to see, like maybe features inside of Bucket that you're not really sure how to use, we can do an entire webinar based on that. If enough requests come through on a specific subject. And so if you have anything that you want us to do more in-depth training on, you could send an email to support@bucket.io and just say webinar idea or training idea, and let us know your feedback on what type of training that you want to see, and we're more than happy to get in there. And if enough people are requesting it, then obviously we want to get you guys completely trained on that. Now, one thing that we had offered in the email was getting you guys one-on-one support and help. Like if like for instance with this branching logic stuff, if you would like someone to get on the phone with you, either myself or another one of our Bucket specialists, to actually jump on the phone 15 to 20 minutes and walk you through whatever your problem is. If that's something that you want, can you let us know in the chat if you want someone to if you want to schedule a one-on-one call with a Bucket specialist? And what we'll do from there, just raise your hand, just say I want it. And then what we'll do is we'll get you a link to the calendar, and you can schedule the time to talk with us. Mr. Nickel, if you could, do you have that link for the schedule?
I sure do. I'm going to pull it up right now, and we do have some additional questions, just FYI, that have come in too.
Okay.
So,
yeah. Cool.
Yeah. Awesome. The next question is, it looks like we're still good on time, most definitely. This is from Ty Hansen, and he says, he or she, I'm not really sure, I'm sorry. I have my segmentation funnel built, but it's very plain. what do you suggest on how I can pretty it up?
Okay. So there's a couple of options. Now, I have seen some of our plainest funnels just do some phenomenal stuff. So the first thing I would suggest for as far as prettying it up is to add multimedia to your funnel itself, right? So your welcome page, um, and what I mean by multimedia is like videos, images. So I would work to get a video on your welcome page. If you're using a welcome screen, I highly recommend video for it. Highly, highly, highly. And in that video, because in the video you can basically tell them, hey, this is what you're going to be doing on this funnel, and this is what you're going to get out of it, right? So that's a good way to pretty it up. As you can see here, we got beaches, we've got people. Without going crazy, you make the page look better automatically, right? So that's one way. You can also just add a simple image that that makes it look good. That's way number one. Way number two, and this is something that we didn't get into here, but I think we should definitely have some more in-depth training on later. Is let me just click discard changes. Is on your questions, you can actually use images. So if you come over here, you can add an image for each of your answers. That alone could change the entire look of your funnel, right? I mean, if you, all of a sudden you have images for the pictures, all of a sudden it's not just a plain text-based thing anymore. Especially if most of your users, I'm going to get this word out. Most of your users are on mobile. Boom! All of a sudden, now they're seeing relevant images to the answers that they're choosing. So they're not choosing based 100% on text. Now they're choosing on text and images. All right, so that's two ways, right? So add a video, add some multimedia to your landing pages, add some images to your questions. Inside of the design screen, so if you click on the design menu, you can go through each of your pages and add images. You can do it on your welcome page background. You can do it on your lead capture page background. Again, you can add images to every page, or if you don't have any images, or you're not just sitting around loaded with images, you could change the color, right? You could come over here, and maybe if you've got like a certain color scheme that you use for your business, just come over here and add that to pages. See what I'm saying? So now you've got color. Those are the three major ways that you could that you can adjust the way that your funnel looks. Again, you could also, and I talked about this earlier, you could slap a logo on it so to brand it and things like that. Does all that make sense? I think it was Ty, right?
Yeah, that was Ty. Yeah, and I think that makes sense. Ty, just let us know if it doesn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
if you have any other questions about that, just let me know. Those are the ways that I would do it, right?
yeah, and just to everyone who tried to access the scheduler right now, it was set to private, but I changed it to public, so you should be able to schedule now. But let me know if that doesn't work, and I'll go in and make some additional changes.
And
Yeah, go ahead.
real quick, I just wanted to mention, so here's what those calls look like. Again, like I said, it's about 15, 20 minutes. What we'll do is we'll get on, identify your exact problem, or not even problem. Like if there's just a hump, if you're one of those people that as soon as somebody says, "Oh, hey, look at this," you're off to the races. It's that kind of call, right? I mean, we're not going to come in and be able to solve any other problem outside of Bucket, but we're going to be able to get you over any hump that you have on with Bucket, so that by the time you end the call, I'm going to say probably close to 99% of the calls that I've ever been on, the problem is solved and the person is literally, they're off to the races, their funnel is doing exactly what they want it to. So that's what to expect for these kind of calls. So there's a couple more questions, Mr. In?
Yes, one moment here. Let me get one going here. Yeah, so there are just some, I can group a few questions here together where I think you've already pretty much kind of covered it. We have some about polishing the pages and just making them look good,
Yep.
showing the footer. And I think, Lisa, maybe what would be really good is that just one of us, if we hop on a call, that would be the best. We can just kind of guide you through also with some branching, etc. So that'd be great. We could just schedule a call there.
Yeah, let's do that, Lisa, because what I'd like to do, just to really help you out, is to figure out what your questions are. If it's me that's calling, like, what the branching, it's hard to kind of, unless I already have one mapped out, it's hard to kind of go in and create it without it. As you can see here, I'm like Q2, Q3, and it just doesn't make a lot of sense. It'll make a lot more sense if we jump on and we can look at your questions and then build it out together and show exactly what it looks like. So if you haven't yet, definitely jump on and request your and set a time up on the schedule, and we'll call you and go through that together.
Okay, it looks like we have. Oh wait. So can everybody just try who wants to get an appointment? Can you go in and see if you can do so at this point in time? Looks like there's some people are still running into a little bit of trouble. I want to make sure I update the availability too. We don't have a ton of availability, uh, but yeah, let's go ahead and give it. Yeah. Okay. Good. Looks like it's working. So just let us know. Send an email through support@bucket.io. Let us know if you can't, and then we can talk about anything else that you need to. Let me make sure that we haven't let anything fall through the cracks here. Okay, Olivia, can you post the link to the chat area in the Facebook again, please? Um, can you elaborate on that? Are you talking about the link to? I guess I'm not sure which link you're talking about. So just let us know right if you could right now, right here. We can address that. Or oh, okay, it looks like you got it taken care of. Excellent. Cool. I think we're good then right now with questions because it looks like mostly we'll be able to go in and let's see, go in and have the one-on-ones and address any major questions there. Yeah. If there's anything that I missed, feel free to shout out in the next I don't know minute or so before we hop off the call. But I'll let Jeremy do some wrapping up then.
Yeah, like I said, guys, anything that you have at this point, I mean, we are kind of getting the last 3 minutes, so I don't want to shortchange you on time. What I would tell you to do right now is jump on the calendar. Like we said earlier, we don't have a ton of spots, but we are absolutely positively willing to get on and make sure that if you have a hump, if you're stuck on something, get you over the hump, get your funnels up and working, and more importantly, converting and getting you some awesome results. So if you haven't done it already, go ahead, fill out the schedule, and we'll be calling you at the time. Um, if you if you're out of the U.S., um, leave like a Skype or something like that too. And I think what we're also going to try to do is email everyone before we actually call, so we can set up if there needs to be any extra technology or anything like that. We'll figure it out beforehand through email. So make sure your email is in there, and if you have a Skype, if you're outside the U.S., if you have a Skype or something that you could put in, that would be awesome as well. Other than that, I just want to tell you guys thank you for getting on here, and we definitely look forward to getting on these calls and getting your funnels converting. Have a wonderful day.
All right, thanks everyone.